What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. My name is Barba, and this is one of my first ESO videos in, oh man, a long time. So welcome back. It is a Magic Necromancer build. It's the first build that I tried and liked since I got back on. I am totally dumbfounded as like all these changes. There are so many changes. A bunch of skill changes, there's vampirism changes, there's BG changes, bro. This game's completely different, but I hope you guys are doing well. I know it's been a while since you heard from me. But yeah, let's just get into it. I'll just go over the build. I'm just going to do skills, gear, character screen, and CP, but let's get into it. Alright, so the character screen is this. We have 24,000 magic, 36,000 health, 17,000 stamina, 4,600 spell damage, 26% crit, 4,000 pen before our major and minor breach, and our resistances are, hold on, 30 on the front, 33.5 on the back. Our recoveries are 1,800 health recovery, 1,600 magic recovery, 1,200 stam recovery. That is before we calculate our mortal coil recovery. So yeah, that's our character screen. We are running 53 points into magic, 11 points into health. We are Argonian because Argonian gets those big beefy potions. We're using Jewels of Misrule. We are also using the Atronach Mundus Stone. So like I said, yes, we are Argonian for a couple reasons. Number one, because they're cool, okay? Number two, I love the potion passive because when you use a tripod, you get so much freaking resource back. Like, plus you get the recovery out of it. You just get like full resources off of like one potion, so it's fantastic. So in terms of the gear, this is what I just am running at the moment. Is it best in slot? No. Alright, but I don't use best in slot stuff. That's just not me. I use what I like, and this is what I like. Alright, so you're going to use Inferno Staff of the Red Mountain. Okay, Red Mountain is phenomenal. Okay, it always has been. I really like it, but what does it do? Well, it gives weapon and spell damage, it gives stamina, it gives a crit chance, and when you deal damage with a weapon, you spawn a volcano that spawns and launches liquid hot lava to the closest enemy. Now, 9,300 damage every 8 seconds. Alright, so it's doing a little bit over 1,000 a second. That's basically what that means. I really like it. I just think it's cool. You know when I'm running it because it's just there. It's in the middle of your screen. I think it's a really cool set just because for the sake of it. Number one, it's just a really awesome looking set. Really harps on the mage aspect of the game. I think it's a good set. It does a lot of damage too. It hits people for like 4,500 sometimes, which is a really good chunk of damage to be taken. So yeah. On the back bar, we have a Resto Staff of the Dragon. Now, I only ran this. Number one, I have a Berserker Glyph on it. Number two, it has Defending on it. And number three, the two-piece, when I flip to my back bar, gives me extra mana or magic recovery, which is freaking great. You could use whatever back bar staff you want. You could even go Sword and Board if you want to go Sword and Board. That's totally your decision. Sword and Board is a great option as well. I would definitely not hate on that. But yeah, I'm using the Resto. And that's just what I have on. I mean, again, personal preference, whatever you want to do. Resto, Sword and Board, up to you. All right, here we go. Our antiquity. Okay, so we have Gaze of Sithis. So we obviously have a triglyph on there. Gaze of Sithis to me is still a great item. I don't know about you guys, but it basically makes any build into tankiness. No matter what you're running, it makes your build tanky. So we have 3,000 extra health. We have 1,000 health recovery, which is great, and we have 4,000 armor. The only downside is, yes, you can't block, okay? But if you're trash like me and you don't remember to block, it's for you. All right, you get a ton of value out of this. A lot of recovery, a lot of armor, a lot of health. It's a great item. It makes it a lot easier because we are running a certain set that we have to have double barred at all times, which makes our lives a lot easier, and that is Rattle Cage. Now, if you don't know what Rattle Cage does, it gives a couple things that Necro needs. Number one, gives health, which is cool, but it also gives 3 lines of spell damage, with the last line being extra spell damage, which is beautiful. And then on top of that, it gives another thing that Necro really needs, because Necromancer is always lacking one spell, and guess what? this set frees up a spell slot. You gain major brutality and sorcery at all times, increasing your weapon and spell damage. So you can save a slot on your bar for a magic or a sorcery buff. It is freaking awesome. Alright, this set is great. Now, not only does it give that sorcery buff, but it's also given just a crap ton of spell damage, and it's heavy armor. So you get armor, health, you get a bunch of spell damage, and you get a beautiful value out of getting rid of an ability slot. Alright, so again, Rattle Cage, Red Mountain, Rattle Cage, Red Mountain, Rattle Cage. Right, so you just want to run a mix. Alright, you ideally want to get Rattle Cage on the heavy pieces like chest, shoulder, and legs, and then get Red Mountain on the rest. Now, Rattle Cage was just... I grinded this set for way too long for it to not drop, so that's why I don't have all of it as perfect as I want. So, but yeah, Rattle Cage, Red Mountain, then a Rattle Cage necklace that took forever to drop. Then we have one Ring of Trainee for that extra beefy health boost, beautiful, and then we have Ring of the Red Mountain. Ideally, this is not stamina, but it is what it is. All right, and then the skills. Let's get into it. So this is the front bar. We are using Inner Light. I just feel like it's really nice to be able to crit on this build because if we get our Blighted Blast Bones to crit, it hits hard. It hits really hard. And Mage Light is just good. Here we have Mortal Coil, a really fat, beefy heal. If you have one of your Blast Bones disappear, if your Beckoning Armor goes away, if your Spirit Guardian goes away, you pop that Mortal Coil. There's always going to be a corpse around. And you get a constant stream of ridiculous healing. And on top of it, it's free. And then on top of that, you are getting 170 magic and stamina recovery. And then even better than that, you're getting 3% healing done, which also goes along with consuming a corpse, generating ultimate, getting crit chance, right? It's just really, really nice. So, yeah. And then susceptibility is one of the best skills in the game. Another free skill, by the way, which is great for our sustain. It applies major breach to them, which is awesome, and applies burning, chilled, and concussed. Blighted Blast Bones, which basically costs nothing. It's 800 stamina. You summon it from the ground. They changed the magic one a while ago, so no one uses that anymore. It's not really any summoning anything. But it deals 13,000 damage to enemies nearby and applies disease, which is great, reducing their damage shield and their healing received, which is awesome. And then the passives are great for this. You get a 10% extra chance to crit under 25% health, so we're up. That brings us up to like almost 40% crit to low health people. You also get straight up penetration. You also get extra dot damage. It's just really, really nice. Alright, here we're using Crushing Shock simply because it's cheaper than Force Pulse. I know Force Pulse does more damage, but this is cheaper and interrupts sorcerers. And then we have Dawnbreaker of Smiting, which is our CC. It's also just one of the best ults in the game, so yeah, really, really nice, to be honest. Alright, on the back bar, very simple cookie cutter. Summoner's Armor, which gives minor and major resolve. I didn't know that. I didn't know when it started giving both, but that's awesome. Also creates a corpse. Then we have Vigor. Now, Vigor isn't really needed for the spell resistance anymore, the physical and spell resistance, but it is needed for the heal. I tried using Bone Totem here. Where is it? I tried using Remote Totem here. I didn't really like it. You could use Dead in Pain. Now, Dead in Pain is another free skill, which would make our sustain literally through the roof. And it's not a bad one to use, to be honest, because you get flat major protection, which stacks with your Spirit Guardian, which would be phenomenal. Especially because you're getting the minor resolve here. So Dead in Pain is actually a really good option. I liked it. I mean, Vigor is nice for just the straight up heal, but you also do get a heal from Dead in Pain. It's just a little bit more annoying to use and make sure you have corpses around, but it is really, really nice. So don't sleep on it. Here we have Race Against Time, which gives you crit damage and speed and snare immunity. Here we have our big beefy heal that heals people more, I believe, based on, or heals you more for the resistance. Or you grant the resistance to the target when you heal them, which is awesome. So you become even more tanky. Doesn't show it on here, but yeah. Alright, Spirit Guardian, great skill. 16 seconds is a lot better than it felt like before. I don't know, maybe that's the same amount of time, but heals you every 2 seconds. and you take 10% less damage flat, which is really nice. It's basically major protection, but it doesn't use up the major protection slot, so you basically you have a double major protection along with Dead and Pain, which is why it's actually a really good option. Here we have Ravenous Goliath. It's one of the better ultimates. If you have enough points for it, just use it. If you end up having them all, just wrecking everybody around you. Or you could use Life Giver, or you could use the Sword and Shield ult if you end up with that. But yeah, champion points, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it's been a minute since I did CP, but here's what I'm using. Force of Nature, Master at Arms, Biting Aura, Untamed Aggression, Fortified, Hardened, Juggernaut, Pain's Refuge. So yeah, that's just a quick build. I have some gameplay recorded that I'm going to release, but I'm just going to release the build first to get it out there to you guys. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the build down below, and thank you for welcoming me back. Hopefully, yeah, have a good one.